stock of the day, though. Thought we'd take a look at Boral. Has slipped in trade today after its board recommended shareholders reject Seven Group takeover bid, their biggest shareholder anyhow. Independent expert Grant Samuel has concluded the offer was not fair and not reasonable and assessed fair value of Boral for between $6.50 to $7.13 a share. Currently, the share price is sitting at $6.21. What do you think, Ben? What will this do for Boral's share price? Now, Seven Group have
70-odd%.
Yeah. So they're trying to mop up the last 30%.
That's right. They're trying to get it off, and there's sort of a stick in the carrot sort of game going on here, where they're saying take the money, or otherwise they're threatening that they will delist the business, and you'll end up as a minority shareholder in an unlisted company.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what their response is. Boral, as I would see it, is not a great quality business. It is very hard to pick what its next 12 months of earnings look like. You know, frequently there's excuses about weather and all sorts of variables that are outside of their control. The only thing I would say is that it feels to me like the market's getting pretty bullish on the home building sector. So we've seen a takeover bid for CSR, Adelaide Brighton Cement, and Boral's being mopped up. It actually won't leave us with many listed building product businesses. Right. James Hardie's at an all-time high.
Yep.
Brickworks is an all-time high.
Yep.
Clearly, and these are all industry players that are buying these companies. So that I think the outlook is actually pretty good for this business, although it's very cyclical and it'll be very different year to year. I guess if you're in it, I'd probably stick in it. I think Seven will probably come back with a sweetener if I was guessing.
Yep.
I'd be nervous about being in an unlisted company, but there is, I think shareholders are now rallying behind this and trying to get some more money.
Okay, so the triggers are Seven Group need to get to 90% shareholding to compulsorily acquire the last 10%.
Correct.
How much do they need to delist it?
They could conceivably delist this tomorrow if they wanted to.
Right. Yeah. So they don't need to get to a 75% threshold or whatever. Okay.
They can vote
through.
Through.
It's a good threat.
Yeah, it's decent. Yeah, because it could,
it's not hollow.
He'll play the long game.
Yeah.
If you did end up in, I'm talking about the Stokes family here. If you did end up in an unlisted company, don't expect you're suddenly going to get paid out a year or two later. You could be sitting there a decade later.
Right. Yeah. Because there's no market. Well, there's sort of a secondary market for unlisted stocks.
There is, but they will always trade at probably a big discount to what they're actually worth.
Mark,
and you've got no control over it.
No.
No.
No, it's not a quality company. So we never look at it. And if you look at their earnings, I was just having a look at it. From 2018, the earnings per share were 43 cents and the last report was 19. So it's half what it was. And the actual H growth, which we have, is negative 25%. So the earnings have been dropping, sales have been dropping at 12%. So it's not just earnings, the sales are going down, earnings are going down faster. And we're showing it returning negative 31% a year going forward. That's how bad it is.
Right.
So now that could turn around. Things can change. But we take, as you know, we put a lot of...
Which Seven Group thinks they
I
can
don't know
turn
what
it
Seven,
around.
I have no idea what Seven Group are thinking. I mean, I just don't know.
Otherwise, they wouldn't put a bid in.
Well, return on capital is 4.8%.
Right.
And if you look at it, if you're looking at their point of view, they're investing capital in a business at returning 4.8% return on capital.
But they think they'll be able to run the business better.
Maybe they do. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's not like you're buying a money machine and going, all I'm going to do is buy it and let it run.
Yeah.
They're going to have to fix it or do whatever they're going to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't touch it, and I think it's a very poor business.
What if you're in it though? Would you be getting out? You'd be selling.
Because I'm showing very significant negative returns going forward. Why would you subscribe to that on the basis that maybe Seven will kiss it and it'll turn into a princess or something?
Right.
Prince or whatever they do.
Yeah.
But and Ben, you're saying with this report today, even though Seven's talking tough, they'll probably.
I don't think they'll want to be seen to be taking a whole lot of retail investors into a private company. It would be a pretty average look. So I think there will be a cash sweetener.
All right. So you don't want to get caught if there's not.
Yeah.
So if Seven do try to delist it, will you have time
Well,
to sell on the market.
The share price will change.
You will, but you won't be selling at the current share price.
Right.
I mean, if they really stepped in and said, we're going to do this,
So
we're
has
not
Seven
going to...
withdrawn the bid?
No, I
Right.
think this has just come out from Boral, and Seven
Yep.
will now consider a response.
Right.
And that could either be increasing the bid, it could be declaring the bid final, and it could be saying we're going to delist the company, which they have the right to do.
Right. So, but that
It could,
couldn't
but there
happen
could be
overnight.
No, that
Right.
but what is going to happen will become clear pretty shortly, I
Right.
think. So,
Okay.
The
So
P-
you'd
the
be
P
watching
is
this
way
closely
gone.
if you're in
And
it.
why would they want to pay a lot more than they've already offered? I mean, based on what we just talked about. But also, the low P was 18 and it's now 32. So the share price has run up a lot.
Yeah.
So is that because of the bid at all? I'm
Well,
not sure.
they've been in an upgrade cycle,
Yeah.
and I'd be like,
That's
Well,
trailing.
results
trailing.
were good.
the analysts could be way too conservative versus what they're seeing in the company.
Right.
I don't know, and
Right.
they do own, they own Coates, so they
Yeah.
might see some synergies in
Yeah.
owning those businesses together.
Yeah, and Westrac.
And Westrac,
the whole
yeah,
lot, yeah.
of course, yeah.
the
So,
infrastructure.
maybe as part of a group, they see it as being more valuable in a separate company.
Okay, but you're saying hold at the moment.
I would
You'll
now,
get news, but watch
But
it closely.
Watch it closely.
Be
if I was
ready
in
to
it, yeah,
move.
wouldn't be
Okay.
buying it. That's for sure.
No. Okay.
Yeah.